We've got one game left, and it's a doozy. The Carlisle Thundering Herd with a record of 32-0 take on the Central Catholic Vikings, a team out of Pittsburgh with a record of 29-2. This is for the boys' Quad A state title, and really it's been in the papers all week, it's been in the papers all season. The big note of today's game, Carlisle trying for its fourth consecutive state Quad A title, and that would be a record.
You might be able to say they've been here before.
Good afternoon, I'm Herb Logan along with Brian Clark. We'll be bringing you the action. You've already had 2 games. District 3 has not fared well.
District 3 has not fared well. Carlisle is the only remaining hope for District 3. Eastern lost this afternoon. I believe the score was 81-69. And
81-62.
81-62, I'm sorry. And the last game was Lancaster Catholic losing to North Catholic 59-52.
So both District 3 teams earlier this afternoon and earlier this evening lost. It's up to Carlisle to provide the only District 3 win. There's a lot of interesting sidelights to this game. Of course, Carlisle going for its 4th straight consecutive title. Central Catholic has a lot of interesting stories. You'd think that Carlisle, with its height advantage and with one certain Billy Owens, would be heavily favored against Central Catholic. They've been called, the Vikings have been called overachievers this year. But there's one maybe a little superstitious fact working in Central Catholic's favor, possibly. We'll have to check on that and get back to you. Real quickly, we're about ready to start with the introduction of the starting lineups, and we'll hold off introducing any player until they do it formally here on the court. The referees for today's game, Paul Krepich Jr., Peter J. Russo, with the alternate, Michael D. Shorn.
And the national anthem is going to be performed tonight by the Hershey High Choraleers. Hershey High's been doing, I believe, the national anthems, or students from Hershey High have been doing the national anthem for all 3 games today. And as Herb said earlier, Carlisle is the remaining hope, the lone hope for District 3. The 2 District 3 teams, Eastern York and Lancaster Catholic, that played earlier today, both went down to defeat. The last game, Lancaster Catholic, was a little bit better than the first game. And we're hoping for an even better game from Carlisle. Billy Owens is the big story here. He's going to Syracuse next year. He's been a dominating player all year. He's probably ranked as the number 1 or 2, depending on which poll you look at, player in the country. And they're going to need a big game from him because Central Catholic is a good basketball team.
Really, it's easy to break out the cliches right now, but you could say that anybody in this crowd right now or watching at home on TV on WITF could be a part of Pennsylvania sports history as Carlisle goes for its 4th straight title.
I believe the last time a team won 3 straight championships was West Reading back in 1959 through 1961. And that hasn't, Carlisle just equaled that or matched that this past year when they won their 3rd straight championship. But no one in the history of the state playoffs has ever won a 4th straight championship, and Carlisle is possibly going to be the first team to do it.
This is a team which has had an undefeated season and really had no problem zipping through the state playoffs, although if you talk to Coach Dave Lebo, he'll tell you that I don't think according to him, they had one good game during the state playoffs, but they maintained their undefeated mark, and here they are in the final, and it could be quite a thing to see. Now, I don't want to sell Central Catholic short. They are a great team. We'll be getting into exactly who their big players are right now. They're coached by a man named Charles Crummy, and he's an interesting story because Charles Crummy has 4 children and is expecting a 5th one, and it could very likely come today. And if the superstition is correct, it hasn't come yet, but Charles Crummy has had 3 of his kids on game days, and every time he's had a child on game day, they've won. So maybe that's an omen. Maybe that's enough to offset Billy Owens. We don't know.
Now everyone out there with a kid that's a Carlisle fan wishes Coach Crummy the best and his wife the best, but they're just saying, we wish you the best on Sunday because we don't want you to have your child on Saturday, and we don't want you to spoil it, and we don't want you to have your superstition come true or your luck or whatever.
I don't know what the capacity of Hershey Park Arena is right now. I imagine somewhere around 7,500 or 8,000. There's some people cramming in, watching, standing. I guarantee you there will be hardly a seat empty, and this will be very loud.
Let us tell you that a little bit earlier on today, when we did the Eastern game and the Lancaster Catholic game, there were about 3,000 or 4,000 fans here between those two games. And there's going to be twice as many people in here. And if you think it was loud before, it is going to truly be loud this evening. As Herb said, there'll probably be about 8,000 fans here. I know that when I got here earlier this afternoon, I heard some Carlisle fans complaining to someone. I'm not sure who it was, but they were complaining rather vociferously about the lottery that they have to get tickets to Carlisle away games. And they're not pleased with it at all, but it's something that has become something of a tradition in Carlisle. Basketball is the sport at Carlisle, and it's just been a problem getting tickets to away games.
I think if Springsteen was playing up at the farm show, people would say, who cares right now? That's kind of an over-exaggeration.
At least people from Carlisle.
We'll be getting ready with the starting lineups in just a few minutes. The teams are both out on the floor right now and shooting around, doing their warm-ups. Billy Owens is out on the floor along with the rest of the starting team. We can catch you up to date on what's happened so far today. As Brian said earlier, the girls' AAA championship, it was North Catholic over Lancaster Catholic 59-52. In the boys' AA championship before the girls' AAA, Girard beat Eastern, a team out of York, 81-62. John Robb, headed to Drexel on a full scholarship, had 26 points in the losing effort. Yesterday, also earlier this afternoon, the girls' single A champion, no District 3 team involved, but Mahanoy City beat Ferndale 74-53. And then yesterday's champions include the boys' single A Monessen, girls' double A Catasauqua, girls' quad A Altoona, and boys' triple A Seton LaSalle. While we're at it, we might as well feed them some NCAA tournament scores. Both Philadelphia teams are out of the tournament right now. The Temple Owls lost to Duke 63-53 in the East Regional Final today. And in the Southeast Final, Villanova stuck with Oklahoma through most of the game. In fact, they had a 5 or 6 point lead at halftime, but they end up getting blown out 78-59 in the Southeast Regional Final. Oklahoma and Duke move on to the Final Four.
Let's talk a little bit about the game tonight. Now, the big thing for Central Catholic is going to be stopping Billy Owens. Are they going to be able to stop Billy Owens? Well, what they're going to do is they're going to try to match up, I believe, man-to-man. I don't know how well they can do that. Billy Owens has a 2-inch height advantage over the starting center for Central Catholic. Now, they do have a guy who's 6'8", weighs 250 pounds on the bench, who'll probably be the first guy off the bench to play defense against Billy Owens. But it's doubtful that a 6'8", 250-pound man is going to be able to keep up with Billy Owens, who has the height of a center and the quickness of a guard.
The impressive thing about Owens is that he can do so many things well. Such a soft shot on the outside jumper. Of course, he can score inside. We've seen that already. And he passes off well. I mean, if the other team, the defenders, slough off on him, maybe 3 or 4 men guard him, he knows somebody out there is open, and he's not hesitant to pass off the ball. He's a very unselfish player as well. Now, Central Catholic the Vikings will be wearing the dark away uniforms. They're blue and gold, their colors. Carlisle will be in their home white. Their colors white and green. Talking about defense, Central Catholic Coach Crummy tells me that the Vikings could open up with any number of defenses. They could play multiple defenses during the course of the night, a matchup zone, a man-to-man, and a pressure zone. Of course, I guess that all depends on how it fares against Billy Owens to start. And on offense, they're very disciplined. They only scored 38 points against Alderdice earlier in the state playoffs, but it was enough to win. They know exactly what it takes to win, and they've been called overachievers. They have some height, but no one expected them. They've been underdogs several times in the state playoffs, and every time they've triumphed. So they've had quite a good season. They're 29-2, as I say. So they have to be doing something right.
Well, they went into the district seeded number 1, and they lost in the district playoffs, but they did make it to the state playoffs, and they were seeded 4th in the state playoffs. But they proceeded to get their game back together, and they ended up winning their. They ended up coming to states as the number 4 seed out of, I believe it was District 7. I'm not really sure which district it is. But this is their first state appearance, and I'm sure they're looking to make the most of it. It's just a matter of seeing what they're going to do. As you mentioned, they're going to be playing multiple defenses against Carlisle tonight. It'll be interesting to see which of the multiple defenses is going to be the one to stop Carlisle. Because you got to remember that when Billy Owens isn't scoring, he's dishing the ball off and getting the ball out in a fast break. And Carlisle's got 4 pretty good other basketball players to complement Billy Owens on the same team, on the same floor.
They've got 4 very good players, and don't want to sell them short at all. certainly not all the attention should go to Billy Owens. And while we're at it, we might as well go ahead. We have some time left. There's still a good 6 minutes to go, or 6.5 minutes before they announce the lineups. So we might as well go ahead and tell you about some of the starters. First of all, for the Central Catholic Vikings. Oh, okay, let's take a break right now if we can. And remind you that we're about ready to see the Quad A final between the Carlisle Thundering Herd and the Central Catholic Vikings, and it's championship basketball right here on WITF, and we'll be right back.
A Pennsylvania-based pharmaceutical firm has...
And DER officials say that the landfill will be...
But it will be up to the Senate Judiciary Committee to decide if that's true.
The senators returning to Harrisburg gave many of us our first close-up...
Procedural move, the Senate ultimately decided to...
80% of Pennsylvania children ride in them, but half of them...
Join the 33 Report News team for the first report on the day's news, weeknights at 5:30 on Channel 33.
Next on Nova, a breakthrough in a little-known field could revolutionize the way we use energy.
It's an opportunity that maybe comes around once in every scientist's career or never comes around in your career. And to be in the right place at the right time, and maybe want to go for it.
At a time when the U.S. is losing technological ground to Japan, the stakes are high. The race for the superconductor. That's next time on Nova.
Nova is TV worth watching Tuesday evening at 8.
Back at Hershey Park Arena, we're about 5 minutes away from the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go ahead and tell you about who will be playing, who you'll see tonight. First, for the Central Catholic Vikings, again, their record 29-2. They were 13-1 during the regular season. Colors blue and gold. They'll be wearing the away uniforms. They're coached by Charles Crummey, assisted by John Cangilla and Harry Sirachman. Go ahead, Brian.
I have a special announcement. I just want to remind everyone that we are preempting our regularly scheduled programming, but everything will be back next week. Sherman's March, if those of you who are looking forward to seeing that program, will be rescheduled at a later date here on your public television station, Channel 33. But right now, we are set to bring you the boys' Quad A final.
And for the Central Catholic Vikings, getting back to them, at the guard positions, number 13, Bill O'Brien, a 5'10 senior. He's averaging about 10 points per game. And Dennis Shack, a 5'8 senior, wearing number 11, the two guards. And they are very important to Central Catholic's defense. They cause a lot of turnovers. In fact, they caused 16 between them against Erie Prep in the Western Final. At the forward positions, you have Joe Conley, number 53. He's a 6'3 senior. He is the workhorse of the team, and he'll be dependent upon getting the rebounds. He's also one of the top scorers with about 16 points per game. Number 35 is probably the most publicized of the Central Catholic Vikings. He's a forward, number 35, Jim McCoy, a 6'3 senior. He's a great shooter, but he can also power inside, and of course he's capable of dunking, maybe not as well as Billy Owens, but he certainly can dunk. And he's averaging 21 points a game. And then finally, to round out this veteran squad, everybody's a senior on the starting lineup. Number 42, center Steve Burnett, 6'7 senior, will round out the lineup. Now coming off the bench, Crummey's top men will be number 33, a forward, Jay Listison. He's a 6'2 junior. Number 21, point guard Craig White. He's a junior. He also has an identical brother on the team. And if that's not enough to confuse me, I don't know what is. Number 55, center Michael Banks. He's a 6'8 senior. And a swing guard position coming in off the bench, number 25, Larry Lane, 5'11", and he's a junior. As I said, a lot of interesting stories about some of these players. We'll be getting into it a little bit, but first, here's Brian to tell you about Carlisle.
I'm going to give you the Carlisle lineup. Starting at the guard positions, we've got 5'10 senior Michael Coleman. He's number 11. We've got a 6-foot senior, Todd Ewell. He's number 31. At forward, we've got number 43, Lee Woodall, a 6'1 senior. And the rumor is that he is thinking about attending Shippensburg. We already know that Billy Owens has made his commitment to Syracuse. We've got also at forward number 24, Kurt Gramlich, the only junior who's going to be starting on the floor tonight. Out of the 10 starters, he is a 6'2 junior. Out of the 10 starters, 9 of them will be seniors. This is the last high school action that they will be seeing. And of course, starting at center, number 32, a 6'9 senior who's headed to Syracuse, which makes Jim Boeheim very happy. Number 32, Billy Owens. That's the starting lineup for Carlisle. One of the things that you may see tonight, or Carlisle will be seeing tonight, is a team that's a lot like they are. Apparently, Carlisle may be the team that plays more up-tempo instead of being the patient and finesse team. We know that Central Catholic plays basically the same kind of game as Carlisle. They have a little bit more overall size on the inside, but you can't say this too many times unless, of course, you're overstating the fact that they don't have Billy Owens. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens down inside.
This is Central Catholic's first appearance in the state final, and a lot of people in the western part of the state didn't expect them to get this far, because in the western final they met a team from Erie Cathedral Prep, and Prep was favored, but Central Catholic comes up with a big 2-point victory, 61-59. That was Wednesday, and that led them here. Carlisle is 19-0 in state tournament games since Billy Owens became a part of the team. And of course, Owens has his own record book. I mean, you could talk about a lot of things, maybe reel off a few stats for us here, Brian. Why won't you?
Well, you know, an interesting fact is that Carlisle never made it to a state playoff game. They never made it past districts until Billy Owens started playing for them. And then they won their first championship. Maybe many of you remember seeing that on television 4 years ago with Jeff Lebo. And it's been Billy Owens, Michael Owens, and the rest of the troops ever since. But Billy Owens has, and this is amazing, this is simply incredible. Now realize he's played 4 years, has 3,246 points in his career. Now that's in 128 games. Now that's a points per game average of 25 points per game. This year alone he has 1,083 points, which is 34 points a game for this year.
22 seconds away now from the introduction of the starting lineups, and just a few minutes away from this very important game, the boys Quad A state final, live from Hershey Park Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Central Catholic had a longer trip to get here. It's about 4 hours from Pittsburgh, but most of the teams for these finals arrived here, at least for today's finals, arrived in town yesterday, and they're all staying at local hotels. Carlisle, no doubt, came down on a bus today. And the teams go to the sidelines and prepare for the introductions, and we'll be talking you through them. Central Catholic, the District 7 champions this year.
The final game of this year.
They'll be introduced first, I believe.
Together the Titans of Pittsburgh, Central Catholic on a District 7 with a record of 29-2, and the Thundering Herd of Carlisle on a District 3 with a record of 13-0. This game represents Quad A state title. The home team on the scoreboard is Carlisle. The visitors, Pittsburgh Central Catholic. And now the starting lineup for the Vikings. Starting guard, wearing number 13, a 5'10" senior, Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien being introduced. He, along with Dennis Shack, run the offense. They also happen to live in the same block in Pittsburgh as Dan Marino, who we all know. Not personally, of course, but, you know. Jim McCoy be introduced. Now Joe Conley. And finally, Steve Burnett, the 6'7" senior. Coach Charles Crummy, assisted by John Kedgilla and Harry Sirachman. And here comes the noise.
And the beginning of a Carlisle tradition. That's number 11, Michael Coleman, being introduced now. And his partner in the backcourt, number 31, 6' senior Todd Ewell. And number 43, the workhorse on the inside. He's the one who gets those tough rebounds, Lee Woodall. Number 24, the only junior starting on the floor tonight, Kurt Bramlich. And Billy Owens. And there's the roar. Dave Lebo looks playoff ready, Herb.
He certainly does. And he realizes that this squad, he's going to be losing most of them. Even his reserves off the bench, many of them are seniors. So, as you say, 9 out of 10, I believe. As we break here for the Star Spangled National Anthem.
28th Division Support Command presents our colors.
sung by the Hershey High School Corliers. A fine job of the Corliers. Again, the officials for tonight's game, Paul Krepitz Jr. and Peter Russo with the alternate Michael Shorn. We're about ready to get started.
And just a reminder that the program of Doctor Who that was not presented this afternoon will be presented tonight immediately following this game. The Space Museum will start right after this championship game around 10 tonight here on public television, Channel 33. And if you think the atmosphere is electric at an NBA or an NCAA game, to use a cliche, the atmosphere here is electric.
We'll probably dust off a few more of those babies before the night's over. Call us, write us, tell us what we should say.
Or not say.
I tell you, this some people call this work, but I'm sitting right here on exactly on the center line of this court side, and this isn't exactly work to us. Billy Owens will jump it, and the Vikings take control. Dennis Shack. They give it right to Jim McCoy.
You can see Carlisle
batted out of bounds.
You can see Carlisle coming right out with a pressure defense. Defense wins games, according to Dave Lebo, and they start out young.
Here's
Let's
Shack
watch
over
Billy
to McCoy.
Owens. Billy Owens, I don't think he's going to leave that paint too far. He's going to make him hit from the outside.
McCoy's fouled on the way up by Owens.
That's a start. That's what they're going to do. I think they're going to take it right down at Billy Owens and force him to play defense. Here you can see
Billy Owens commits himself. He usually doesn't do that. The long arms sometimes give him a break, and he's able to come up with a block. But this time, no, his body. And McCoy misses the first shot of a two-shot foul. 20 seconds into the first quarter of this Quad A state final between Carlisle and Central Catholic. McCoy at the line, shooting for his second, and he makes it. It's 1-0. Central Catholic. McCoy recruited by several schools, Duquesne among them, and
the Richmond Spiders and Notre Dame.
Carlisle will work it around.
You can see
it's not open to Owens.
that Central Catholic is playing this tight man-to-man, and they're looking to double team anytime they get a chance.
Todd Ewell inside to Lee Woodall.
There's the workhorse down low.
You guard Owens too close, and Woodall finds some space. 2-1 Carlisle lead. Carlisle in a man-to-man. Billy Owens giving Central's center some room. The center in now in there as McCoy takes a shot and makes it. It's a 3-2 Central Catholic lead. The center for Central Catholic.
Scott Gormley is the center for Central Catholic,
Scott
number
Gormley
51.
right now.
You can see what they're doing down there is they're double teaming Billy Owens. They're keeping two men around Billy Owens, and it's leaving people open on the weak side. Carlisle's cutting to the basket and getting the easy hoop.
That was Kurt Gramlich. And now Gormley.
Apparently Billy Owens doesn't think he's too much of an offensive threat because he's really sagging off of Gormley.
O'Brien over to McCoy. Owens with the rebound. Ahead to Woodall. Carlisle has not shot from farther than 3 feet out. I would even say 2 feet out. 6 points for them. They lead us 6-3. Opening minutes of this first quarter.
6 points, 3 layups. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Inside to McCoy, and he makes it.
McCoy and Owens are both going to be playing in the Round Ball Classic out in Pittsburgh a little bit later on this month.
To get the feeling McCoy will make every one of those shots inside he gets. O'Brien comes up with a steal.
He's going to have to slow it up. He's got a 1-on-4 here.
McCoy's shot won't fall, and Michael Coleman brings it up quickly to Gramlich. Carlisle mostly going with their starters for most of the way. They have 2 men off the bench. And
there it is. I would say that's a point. That's called making your point. And if you don't think the fans love it, just listen.
Already Todd Ewell has 3 assists. Of course, that's kind of easy to do sometimes when you're feeding Owens.
I don't know about you, Herb, but I thought that pass was going over the backboard.
Gormley.
They're going to let him take that shot.
And Gramlich gets the rebound and is fouled by Gormley.
Billy Owens is going to let Gormley take that shot all night. That is not his shot. He's going to have to get the ball down low. And here you see on the replay.
Again. Oh, no, you're not. You're seeing the rebound here. Gramlich gets the rebound and is fouled by Gormley.
Gramlich had good position on the weak side that time, and Gormley, trying to follow the shot, made a big mistake, fouling over the back.
Gosh, we sure would like to see that alley-oop sometime again, too, wouldn't we?
That's just a small hint.
Michael Coleman gives it up to Owens. And he gets the roll.
That is a soft touch. I mean, he put that up there like it was almost like a finger roll from the foul line.
He gets the roll, the foul.
The team's second. Basket by Owens.
We haven't heard anything about, there you see it.
Owens shot.
Such a nice soft touch.
And the
if you
spin
can
he
get a
puts
shot,
on, that's the backspin he puts on the ball,
if you can get a shot to bounce off the front of the rim, straight up and right down through the hoop, you've got a nice touch.
This shot will give Carlisle the 11-5 lead.
He's got that good soft touch from the foul line, too.
Dennis Shack will try to set up the offense for the Vikings.
Central Catholic has to be careful this game doesn't get out of hand early because Carlisle, it looks like they're hot. And Central Catholic really hasn't been hitting much lately.
Carlisle falls back into a zone.
They're moving the ball well on the outside. But Carlisle's challenging them to hit the outside shot, something they haven't been able to do.
Sheldon Bream is in the ball game right now as a substitute. Very good defensive player.
Ball over to McCoy.
He's guarding the middle in this zone. Kurt Gramlich with the board on the missed shot. And ahead to Owens.
Showtime. There it is. Okay, I think it's good time to call timeout. There you go. Central Catholic calls a timeout here. They've got to before this game gets out of hand.
Here we go. We'll see it again.
It's a highlight film, folks.
13-5. Carlisle takes the lead. And Central calls a quick timeout.
I don't know if Central knows what hit them, but I think they're going to know by the end of the night. Carlisle is really moving the ball well. They're moving the ball incredibly well. They've got 6 baskets, and none of those have come from dribbling the full length of the court. They've got guys looking for people cutting to the hoop. They've got guys looking for the open man when they're putting the double team on Billy Owens. They've got 6 baskets, and 6 of those baskets, each one of them had an assist.
Owens has 7 of Carlisle's 13 points. Again, it's an 8-point lead for Carlisle. Carlisle has also not missed a shot yet. Of course, they took 3 of those from real close range. Actually, 4 of them. If you count the Owens dunk, it's hard to get close to the net.
You've got a sub into the game now.
If it sounds like we're really pandering to Carlisle right now, well, we're not trying to, but they capture a lot of attention, let's put it that way. Matt Smith is coming to the ball game now. I'm sorry, Sheldon Bream is still in the ball game. He's replaced Woodall.
Well, Central Catholic's going to try to slow it down. The game started to get out of hand.
Carlisle falls into a 1-3-1 zone. Coleman out on top. They're going to deny the ball inside, and Wellens is coming way out on the wing.
And you got McCoy wide open here on the weak side, but it's going to take a good pass to get the ball to him.
That's O'Brien with a 3-point attempt. Doesn't go.
Here we go again.
I don't think that Central Catholic took whatever lesson to heart that Coach Crummy taught them. We'll see this again.
There's almost another steal. There is another steal.
Coleman to Owens.
He
pulls up.
He is human, folks. He did miss a shot.
And Ewell with the follow. Nice bucket by Ewell. It's a 17-5 lead. Carlisle's up by 12.
This is a senior basketball team that knows where they are and where they have to be at all times. They're on the weak side for those rebounds. When Billy Owens is taking that shot, they're going to the floor and they're going hard to the basket. They're playing well.
Catholic having trouble getting back on their missed shots.
Central Catholic looks
learned by now.
They look a little bit stunned right now. They're not moving on offense. They're standing there, and Carlisle is challenging them with that zone defense. They're not hitting anything.
Shot by Conley goes in and out. One shot and that's it. Michael Coleman hits.
You can't say anything other than they look like a well-oiled machine at this point. They're just not making any mistakes.
Over to O'Brien, down in the corner to Conley. Won't go. Conley bustles for the rebound. Challenges Coleman and goes for 2.
You got to follow that shot. That was a good move by Cornley.
Conley's bucket is the first 2 points for Central Catholic in quite some time, and right away Kurt Gramlich comes right back with a basket and answers it. It's 21-7. Gormley with the rebound.
And that's what he's going to have to do. They can't use him if he's standing out at the foul line taking jump shots. They need him to go underneath and get those rebounds.
Personal foul, number 31, Todd Yule,
There you see on the replay.
Shot coming up by Gormley.
Gormley had good position on the weak side. Again, when you know that shot's from a long distance, you get to the weak side, get good rebounding position, you can go back up with it. That's what he did that time.
I don't know if these were Lebo's instructions, but if you notice, as a substitution comes in for Central Catholic, Jay Listerson comes on in, and he spells Joe Conley. If you notice, Billy Owens that time, already looking for the fast break, already breaking down the court on the shot by Gormley. He wasn't even close to the rebound. Owens has made a prediction heading into tonight. We haven't even talked about that. He guaranteed us this would be his greatest game, and so far he's backing it up. Gormley hits the second of a 2-shot foul. It's 21-9, Carlisle. Catholic is bunching in the middle.
We drop back into his zone now. They're going to try and give Carlisle a little bit of their own medicine, but Carlisle's been hitting their shots so far tonight.
Yule fakes. It's Owens. And Owens pops.
Nothing but net. That's 3 points.
24-9. 1 minute and 13 seconds left in the first quarter.
I wonder if Billy's worrying about his starting spot next year with Syracuse after his poor 25-point performance the other night.
Owens has 12. Shot by Listerson won't fall.
Good position by Gramlich on the other side with a rebound.
And again, the rebound by Carlisle. They're only allowing 1 shot by Central. Haven't heard from Jim McCoy in a while for Central.
And again, they're keeping very close attention on Billy Owens down there. You got McCoy following him out. They're watching him. They're very conscious of wherever he's going on the court.
Yule, quick pass inside to Owens. Pump fake. And he'll draw the foul.
He's got such a quick shot. He turns to that basket and that ball's off. We're going to see it on the replay here. Billy gets the ball, and you're not going to stop him there. He's going to get a shot. The only thing you can do is what they did there, and that puts him on the line, and he's a good foul shooter, so. That's Gormley's 3rd foul, I believe, Herb.
We've been giving you a wrong name here. We've saying number 51 is Gormley. Actually, it is Steve Burnett. He was supposed to be the starting center. He did indeed start, but he does not have the number 42. He is wearing number 51, and he has 3 fouls. He sits down and he's replaced by Michael Banks.
You got 29 seconds left in this quarter.
Owens hits both foul shots.
They've got the big guy. They've got the 6'8", 250-pound guy in there, Michael Banks. We're going to see if he's going to try and put a little body on Billy Owens. I don't know if it's going to do any good.
19 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Shack works it around to O'Brien. Swinging inside. Listerson out to McCoy. The shot too far, too long. And it's back out to Shack. And they don't get the shot off. A mistake by Central Catholic. They don't get a shot off as the first quarter ends. Carlisle on a 100-point pace. They lead this ball game 25-9. You're watching championship PIAA basketball here at WITF TV 33. We'll be right back.
WITF's exclusive coverage of this PIAA Quad A Boys Championship game has been made possible by United Telespectrum, leaders in mobile telecommunication. CM Detweiler Realtor, distinctly Detweiler for nearly a quarter century. Earl B. Lehman Motors of Harrisburg, home of Volvo and Saab. Commonwealth National Bank, offering financial services at over 40 offices in South Central Pennsylvania. Count on Commonwealth. Highland Gardens, your garden department store. And Masland, dedicated to excellence in the automotive industry.
Back at Hershey Park Arena, getting set to start the second quarter. Carlisle in command, 25-9. They have a 16-point lead. And Billy Owens has 13 of Carlisle's 25 points.
Central Catholic is in trouble right now because McCoy is not hitting those shots. He's getting wide open shots on the weak side. They're moving the ball well against the zone. They're getting it out to him. He's getting the shot, but he's not hitting anything. That could spell trouble for them.
McCoy started with some early buckets, and then he didn't get the ball for a while, and he missed his last few attempts. This is Woodall, wide open.
That's good heads-up ball by Gramlich. He knew exactly where Woodall was against that zone.
Carlisle is shooting 92% from the field. That's 11 for 12. And you've seen where most of the shots have come from, so it's quite understandable. From the line, they're 67%, 2 of 3. Rebounds 8, turnovers 1 in the first quarter. For Central Catholic,
there goes
as you see O'Brien work the ball around to McCoy. McCoy's shot is good.
It's only
just a two-pointer.
Well, that's good news for Central Catholic because they need him to hit that.
Here we see McCoy's touch. That's on the other end. Billy Owens scores. 15 for Owens. Catholic with 23% field goal shooting in the first quarter. Now that really tells the difference. 92% as opposed to 23. They were 75% from the line. 3 rebounds and 1 turnover.
I think a lot of that can be attributed to Carlisle's defense. They move so well out there, and they're not accustomed to playing a zone. They play a man-to-man for the most part.
Listerson hits.
They play a tough zone. They're out in your face, and they're getting a hand in your face before you take that shot.
Listerson hits for 2. Lead is 16. And right down the court comes Carlisle. Todd Ewell. He has 5 assists, but he's also scoring some points.
Whistle before the shot.
Just a little slow on anticipating that. Carlisle is now 14 for 15 from the field. Here you're going to see on the replay, Todd Ewell just didn't get his feet set in there. McCoy made a strong move to the basket and put the shot up.
I have a feeling Central Catholic relied a great deal on McCoy and wanted him to have a good game to start out, or else, you know, maybe they knew they were in trouble. And McCoy so far has scored some, but certainly hasn't been a big factor. Billy Owens retrieves the loose ball.
That was a left-handed layup, a nice, soft, left-handed layup. It's incredible. He just rolled that off his fingers.
You can count that as another assist for Ewell, too, kind of a backhanded assist. Just trying to save the ball out of bounds. Another shot by Catholic goes awry. And Ewell comes up with it.
So smart. Slows it down when he sees he's got no fast break.
It's already a 20-point lead for Carlisle. 33-13, 5:59 to play in the second quarter. At some point, I imagine they'll try to slow it down. Ewell to Owens underneath.
He's being gentle. Good defense by Ewell.
McCoy is sandwiched.
They are really, really jumping out on him.
O'Brien for 3. Doesn't go. Listerson has the ball knocked out of his hands. It'll stay with Central Catholic.
And O'Brien's getting a little frustrated. He's getting that open shot. He's either long or short. He just hasn't hit anything over there.
Couple subs for Carlisle. Woodall and Ewell will sit down, replaced by Bream and Matt Smith, number 21. As Catholic hits his bucket, that's a 3-pointer by Conley.
That's the first real mistake we've seen Carlisle make. It was a bad pass.
But it'll stay with Carlisle, and Matt Smith will bring the ball in bounds. There was quite a bit of noise, quite a bit of booing when Carlisle was introduced. I assume those are Catholic fans. They're not making too much noise right now. Owens inside.
Okay, he's not being polite anymore. It's obvious that Billy Owens is out of the high school league. I mean, just watching him play, this is the first time that I've had a chance to see him play this year.
He might be in a better league in regards to Central Catholic. Owens with 21 points already. Carlisle back in that zone. Shot is blocked. Up to Coleman. To Owens, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Denny Shack.
Again, the question comes to as to whether the man had his feet set or whether Billy Owens was on the ground before the collision took place. And Carlisle's in the penalty now. They're going to shoot one-on-one on this.
A 1-and-1 for Billy Owens. Already with 21 points. And the game is barely 11 minutes old. 37-16. Carlisle with the lead. This is a big crowd here today at Hershey Park Arena. Of course, they'll get much bigger for Billy next year, playing in the Carrier Dome.
I wonder if Jim Boeheim's here tonight. A little disappointed in the mere 25-point performance the other night.
23 for Owens now. Shack will bring the ball up for Catholic.
Carlisle staying in that zone defense. It's a 2-1-2 zone, and they're moving quickly. They're really sandwiching McCoy out there. He's got nowhere to go with the shot. He looks frustrated.
So far, it looks like everybody's looking to McCoy, including Central Catholic, to bring them out of this slump. And McCoy just is drawing too many people on him, and they're open shots for Catholic, but they're not making them. Coleman will bring it out front. Owens playing point guard there.
That's probably where Central would like to see him play. And now you see they're double teaming him down low. They've got a man fronting him and they've got a man behind him. But again, Carlisle rotates the ball so well. They get it down to him. They're not going to stop that. There's just no stopping that. I think when Billy Owens promised you'd see him play the best game he ever played, he wasn't lying. That's 4 fouls. Here you see on the replay, 4 fouls on number 51.
That's Burnett.
Steve Burnett.
Billy Owens just powered up there. The ball was partially blocked, but nothing stopped him on the way down to the rim.
Now you're going to see Michael Banks, the 6'8" senior. He weighs 250 pounds. I guess that's the only hope they have. Just put him down there and try to get him to put a body on Billy Owens.
Billy Owens' greatest game so far. It might be a little too early to talk about this, but his greatest game is 53 points. Right now he has 26, and there's 4 minutes left to play in this second quarter. Shack fires from 3, yes.
And they're going to need that. If McCoy's going to be cold, they're going to need Shack to hit those 3-pointers because he's open.
It's a 23-point game. Billy Owens,
he walks.
The basket is disallowed. He walks.
But I'll tell you right now that if they're going to be breaking Billy Owens on these fast breaks, every time a shot goes up, they're going to have more back than just a little guard trying to play defense. There you see it.
Another dunk, but you did see the walk.
But you can see who they had playing defense or dropping back after the shot. That's a problem. And you can't take your best offensive player, Jim McCoy, and have him drop back to play defense. He's going to have to go to the basket. When you get the ball down in there, you got to look to score.
Michael Banks looks very tentative in the middle there. They're going to call a foul on McCoy. An offensive charge. And we'll see it right here. Jim McCoy making the move. Owens gets in front of him. And apparently stopped long enough to draw the offensive foul.
It's good, smart defense on Billy Owens' part, and I know that college coaches love to see that. These players grow up playing man-to-man at Carlisle.
No basket.
It's not the NBA. No continuation.
I tell you,
you're going to see a replay here. Billy Owens doing it all on his own, so to speak. Unfortunately, for Carlisle, the whistle had blown before he went up with the basket.
Number 55, Michael Banks, is a big guy, but so far he's very tentative underneath, and even on defense. And I think that Carlisle will take great advantage of that.
It just looks like Central Catholic is shell-shocked. Carlisle, not just Billy Owens. And Billy Owens has 27 points, I believe. But the rest of the Carlisle team looks incredible. Everybody is playing really well tonight.
This is a team that's been together for quite some time. They know each other very well. He missed the second shot and the rebound by Banks. Shack over to Bryan. And Conley fires. Nothing. Partially blocked. Coleman ahead to Owens. This could be all Owens, but he dishes to Ewell.
That is a nice pass. I mean, what can you say? You saw it there. Unselfishly. He's already got 29 points. It's not like he needed any more.
45-19 Carlisle. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first half. McCoy fires. Rebound Gramlich.
See, one of the things that Carlisle jumping out on defense has forced him to do, you saw that shot was a fadeaway shot. You're not going to get fouled on a fadeaway shot.
And a holding foul called on Carlisle. Sheldon Bream.
That's his first, the team's third.
Bream there in the middle, you'll see him. Ball is tipped. The pass is a little high for him. And a Shack comes up with it, but Bream holds on to him. Foul on Bream. Bream's a very good defensive player. He also helps out on offense, especially on the offensive boards.
Dave Lebo's really shuffling players in and out of this game. It's
well, he usually goes to Bream and Matt Smith. Those are the two main guys off the bench, and he's got Bream in there for quite some time. And Woodall has been getting some minutes on the bench. Take a look at Dave Lebo. You'd never know his team was winning. McCoy hits. I believe that's a 3. No, just a 2. 45-21. Carlisle in command. 1:44 left to play in this half. Gramlich moves baseline.
Oh.
And he's fouled. McCoy.
That's a good, strong move to the baseline. Here you see, we're going to see on the replay
here. Carlisle plays fundamental basketball from top to bottom.
Carlisle, when they see a lane to the basket, they're going to take it. They're not going to pass it off. They're not going to take a jump shot. If there's a lane to the basket, they go for it. And that's why all of their points have come from within the paint. Billy Owens is getting a rest. Michael Coleman's getting a rest. There's about a minute and a half left in the first, minute and 41 seconds left in the first half.
There's no doubt about the fact this Carlisle team has a lot of talent, but you get a sense this talent comes so much from just an intense confidence on this team. Everybody knows everybody. Nobody on the floor right now looks like they're winning. They're concentrating on the game, and they just look very cool and confident.
I think you can afford to be confident when you go 20 for 21 from the field. They've been 9 for 9 this quarter.
Carlisle has missed 1 shot in 21 from the field as Gramlich makes the foul shot. 48-21 Carlisle.
We've got number 25 in the game, Larry Lane for Central Catholic.
1:30 left to play.
Coach Crummy, I'm sure, looking for someone to provide offense out there. When you score 21 points in the first half.
Carlisle with a hustling zone. They're not even allowing them the outside shot. Quick pass inside to Listison. Nice pass. Nice pass from Larry Lane.
That was a nice play. He got inside the paint, squared up, made the shot. You got to do that when you get the ball inside there.
Nearly stolen. Matt Smith's pass by Lane. But it's retained, and Smith will set up the offense.
So, you know, what Central Catholic should look to do with Billy Owens out of the game is take it down low. They're going to have a size advantage here. They've got to take advantage of it.
Here's Woodall. No. But Smith controls. Breen to Ewell. Bounce pass, Gramlich. They don't even need Owens right now. Owens isn't even in the ball game. 50-23, 37 seconds left to play in this first half.
Matt Smith out there playing good hustling defense. He almost stole the ball.
Sheldon Breen, tough rebound.
Woodall gets trapped under the basket.
Woodall blocked by Banks.
There's a little mistake. You got to know where you're at. When you stop your dribble under the basket, you're in trouble.
Owens will come back in along with Coleman.
But you can't really fault Carlisle for that. It's about their second or third mistake in the first half.
Owens and Coleman in. Breen and Ewell take a rest. With 15 seconds left to play, I imagine they want a quick bucket from Owens.
It looks like they have something set up with him underneath. The alley-oop.
10 to go.
3 seconds. Billy was looking for the dunk in there, was looking for the alley-oop pass, and apparently it took a little bit long to get it to him, and he got caught for the 3-second violation.
10 seconds to play. Carlisle up by 27. Catholics working for 1 shot. They better hurry. They're not going to get it. Owens' desperation shot short. I guess we have to count that as a shot for Carlisle. I don't know if they made the buzzer or not, but if we do count it for Carlisle, that still means they only missed 2 shots this entire half. The first half score is 50-23. Carlisle in command, and all you can say is Carlisle was playing a perfect game, and how can Central Catholic combat something like that?
Well, I think at this point, the only thing they can do is to hope that Carlisle completely falls apart the second half, because they've just played perfectly. And if they play less than perfectly in the second half and Central Catholic starts hitting some shots, that's been a real problem. I'm sure their shooting percentage is around 20 or 25% for the first half. They just haven't hit anything.
Catholic only scoring 23 points in the first half as opposed to 50. Carlisle's on a 100-point pace.
Jim McCoy, their big offensive threat, is probably their leading scorer, and I'm sure he only has 2 or 3 baskets. And most of his shots have been wide open. He's going for the 3-point shot. They're reversing the ball well against the Carlisle zone, but while you're reversing the ball well, you're getting the ball to the open man. The open man has to make the shot. If the open man's not making the shot, all that movement and all that hustle out there on the offensive end does nothing for you.
We'll see what happens in the second half. Right now, we'll take a little bit of a break. You're watching PIAA Championship Basketball. I'm Herb Logan along with Brian Clark, and we'll be right back.
Next on Austin City Limits, super picker Ricky Skaggs.
I may look like a city slicker, shining up through my shoes. Underneath, I'm just a guitar picker, picking out a best blues. Show me where I start, flying a horse and cart. I'm just a country boy at heart.
Hanging around, hoping you'll get lonely.
And the bluegrass harmonies of the Whites.
So you say we're through. You're telling me now that you'll never miss me. But I'm hanging around just in case you do. I'm hanging around just in case you do.
Enjoy Austin City Limits this Thursday night at 10.
Space flight. The countdown has commenced. From liftoff to touchdown, this series chronicles legendary moments of triumph and tragedy, frailty and strength, genius and courage. This is also a tale of political and international intrigue. Why was Russia almost always first in the early race for space? Who was the mysterious chief designer of Soviet space efforts? What were the reasons why America went to the moon? And for today and beyond, will space become a new battleground? This series attempts to answer these questions and more in a journey into the past and future. This is Martin Sheen. Join me for Space Flight.
Space Flight, spectacular television, and presented right here at 9 o'clock Thursday night.
This week on Masterpiece Theater.
Goodbye, my dears. Goodbye, Peggotty. Thank you.
The tender warmth.
Deserve better, Dodie.
I love you.
The comic delights.
What does it mean, Pegasus?
Life offers no choice but jail or death. I choose death.
The unforgettable characters of David Copperfield.
You dirty little ink blot, you.
I live in an humble abode, Master Copperfield, with my mother. She's a very humble person, too.
A classic tale of growing up. Charles Dickens' David Copperfield on Masterpiece Theater.
How do you do?
See the premiere episode this Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
I'm up very early and am seeing patients and or doing surgery throughout the day. And at the completion of the day, I look forward to going home, usually between 6 and 8 at night, and then spend the rest of the evening doing whatever I can with family time. I obviously don't have a lot of free time, but when I do have free time, I enjoy spending that time with my family watching Channel 33. I believe that it's very important for people such as myself who enjoy and gain benefit from watching public television such as Channel 33 to be involved in the ongoing maintenance of their ability to continue their programming.
Membership. The choice is yours.
You're watching Channel 33, WITF TV Harrisburg, member-supported television for Central Pennsylvania. The programs you watch on Channel 33 depend on your support. Viewers like you make the purchase and production of programs possible with membership contributions of $60, $120, or $35. Every WITF membership includes a year's subscription to A Prize magazine, which includes complete WITF program listings. For more information on membership in WITF and for a complimentary copy of A Prize, write to WITF TV, Box 1333, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 17105.
We're live back at Hershey Park Arena. Herb Logan here with Brian Clark, trying to catch our breath here at halftime. Carlisle is leading Pittsburgh Central Catholic by a score of 50-23. And you hate to keep coming. The attention always seems to focus on Carlisle, but it seems to go automatically there. You can't help it. The attention also on Carlisle almost automatically goes to Billy Owens. And before the game, Billy Owens made a prediction that he would play his greatest game to date. If you're talking pure numbers, that would mean 54 points.
I can't imagine anyone playing a greater game.
He scored 27 in the first half. He needs to score 27 more to have his greatest game. He scored 53 against Cumberland Valley. That was his career high, and he's certainly on line for that. You have some of the stats.
Well, he only had 3 rebounds and 2 block shots, but he did have 27 points. You know, you can't take anything away from the rest of the Carlisle team. They've shot, we have the stats here from the first half. Carlisle we made a little mistake in the first half. They weren't 22 for 24. They were 21 for 24. They still shot 88% from the field. Now, that's as a team. So Billy Owens had 27 points, but the rest of Carlisle scored 23. From the foul line, they were 7 for 9. They shot 78%. They had 16 rebounds and only 4 turnovers. For Central Catholic, they were 9 for 26 from the field, a little better than we thought, but still, 35% is not going to win you a state championship, especially when the other team's shooting 88%. From the foul line, they were 3 for 4 for 75%. They had 6 rebounds, almost tripled by Carlisle's rebounds, and they had 4 turnovers. What that says to me is that Central Catholic, even though they're not shooting well, they're not getting any follow-up shots as well. So that really hurts. That hurts twice as much. They're not able to hit the boards because Carlisle's giving them 1 shot and they're clearing the ball out. And they're clearing the ball out because Billy Owens is breaking down long, and the only person that Central Catholic has back to defend on that is about a 5'7" or a 5'8" guard, and you just can't stop Billy Owens on a play like that.
The optimist would say that it was a learning experience for Central Catholic in the first half. You got to hope they learned something, because it's quite evident, and you don't want to give the game away already, but if they haven't learned something, and they don't, as my grandma used to say, change horses in the middle of the stream, I don't see them winning at all. We have some individual statistics here.
We do have some individual statistics, but I think we're going to take a break right now. We're going to go back to the station. We'll be right back with more from Hershey Park Arena.
WITF's exclusive coverage of this PIAA Quad A Boys Championship game has been made possible by United Telespectrum, leaders in mobile telecommunication. CM Detweiler Realtor, distinctly Detweiler, for nearly a quarter century. Earl B. Lehman Motors of Harrisburg, home of Volvo and Saab. Commonwealth National Bank, offering financial services at over 40 offices in South Central Pennsylvania. Count on Commonwealth. Highland Gardens, your garden department store. And Masland, dedicated to excellence in the automotive industry.
We're here at Hershey Park Arena, where the Carlisle Thundering Herd lead the Central Catholic Vikings by a score of 50-23. Now, Central Catholic was 29-2 overall this season. Carlisle 32-0. You'd think that this game would be a little closer than it is. Unfortunately, it's a 27-point lead for Carlisle.
You'd think this game would be a lot closer than it is. It's a championship game, and I think what happened was Carlisle just came out so fast that they really caught Central Catholic unaware. I don't think Central Catholic realized how good Carlisle was. I don't think anybody realized how good Carlisle was until they put up 50 points in the first half of a high school game.
We have the halftime stats for you here. Out of the 23 points for Central Catholic, Jim McCoy was the high scorer with 9. Joe Conley had 5. Listison 4, Burnett 2, and Shack 3. Rebounds, of course, as a team, they have only 4 rebounds I see here. 2 by Conley. Now Carlisle, of course, 27 points by Billy Owens in the first half. 9 from Kurt Gramlich, 6 from Lee Woodall, 6 from Todd Ewell, and 2 from Michael Coleman. Coleman and Gramlich share the rebounding lead with 4 apiece. And on the assist side, you have Todd Ewell with 7 assists, a lot of those to Billy Owens. They're about ready to start the second half.
Well, the good news for Central Catholic is that they get the ball to start the second half.
For the final? And the second half is underway. We'll see what they can do right off the bat. McCoy can't find any room. Give it over to Burnett, who has 4 fouls, by the way. He's in foul trouble. O'Brien to Shack.
Carlisle still playing that tough 2-1-2 zone there, or 2-3 zone. And Burnett's got to watch out down there. There's a lot of pushing going on.
McCoy for 3.
And that's what Central Catholic needs to get back into this game. It's a long shot, but those 3-pointers make it a lot easier.
McCoy hits the 3s, and they can slowly get back into this game.
If you're a realist, you're saying it's impossible for Carlisle to keep up this pace and continue shooting this hot from the field. But if they continue to get shots down inside like they did in the first half.
And a turnover by Carlisle. Michael Coleman is called for 5 seconds. And Denny Shack will bring it up. Shack is Dan Marino's next door neighbor.
Central Catholic seems to be moving the ball a lot better this half.
McCoy with another 3, and it's good.
That'll bite into a lead pretty quickly, and if he starts hitting those 3-pointers because they're getting him the ball, they move the ball well to the weak side.
50-29 Carlisle. A minute and a half into the third quarter. Owens way outside, looks for Gramlich. Gramlich had the shot at the foul line, but gives up to Coleman, and Coleman's going to be called for traveling. And he knows it.
And Dave Lebo's a little upset right now. Carlisle seems to have been thrown off their game plan. Central Catholic has come out here, and they have not given up.
Carlisle has yet to fire a shot.
This is for all the marbles. Central Catholic can't afford to give up at this point.
Burnett powers inside.
It looked like he got hit on the arm there, got away with one.
And O'Brien moves in. A much more aggressive Central Catholic team as McCoy shoots another 3. And Todd Ewell goes way high for the rebound and tips it out of bounds.
So now right there you saw a little bit of intimidation on the part of Central Catholic. They knew Billy Owens was down inside there. Number 13, Bill O'Brien, had the lane, and he did not take the shot because he heard footsteps or he saw long arms coming up there to block a shot.
Another 3-pointer for Catholic, and it's an 18-point Carlisle lead. Carlisle will switch back to man-to-man defense. They have the ball in offense right now, Michael Coleman.
And you're seeing a half-court press here. Now they drop back into a zone.
Billy Owens drive baseline.
It was a blocking foul. He didn't have his feet set. Carlisle's got to be careful because, as we mentioned before, you're going to see a replay here.
Central Catholic much more aware of trying to take away the baseline from Billy Owens, but this time Conley couldn't get in front of him in time. Billy Owens very quick. Michael Coleman will get the inbounds pass. Owens is open,
underneath. You're not going to stop him down there.
And the basket is good.
That's just smart. He hangs in the air. When he gets fouled, he goes up with that shot. He's in control. That's 29 points for him. I believe you mentioned, Herb, the record for a PIAA state championship game, or state game, is 38 points. That's Stu Jackson for Reading. Billy Owens has 29 now. He's working on 30.
And it's trouble for Jim McCoy, who committed that foul. He's got 4 now. And along with Burnett, as Owens makes the second shot, or completes the three-point play.
And that puts Crummy in a tough position because he needs McCoy in there in order for Central Catholic to even have a hope to get back into this game. They've started working their way back.
McCoy's got to be very careful, and now that means that who's going to guard Billy Owens close down low? They're going to have to bring in Banks probably.
Well, Carlisle's back into their zone defense now. Again, they're going to challenge. They're going to challenge Central Catholic, and they're double teaming every opportunity they get.
Billy Owens with the near steal.
Keeping us on our toes over here.
Bill O'Brien looks to shoot, but then drives. Nice move by O'Brien, and he's fouled.
That was good that time.
By Michael Coleman.
The last time he went in there, he dished off all the way out to the three-point area. You're going to see on the replay here, Bill O'Brien taking it down low amongst the Redwoods.
Kurt Gramlich was the man on the foul that time.
And he fends off the man with his left arm and puts up the shot. Good smart offense there by Bill O'Brien. Rattles it home.
53-33 Carlisle. 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
One thing you have to keep in mind is that this is Central Catholic's first state appearance. They seem to have settled down, but when they first came out, they were shattered, or shaken at least, by Carlisle in the way they played. They seem to have settled down now, but they can't play basket for basket.
Wide open underneath, Kurt Gramlich.
That is such a smart pass. They're cutting to the basket every chance they get. Billy Owens squares up, looks, the man's wide open, gets an easy layup.
You know, I guess if you wanted to find fault with Billy, you could say he doesn't hit the boards real well, but I don't know if he has time to do that. He's too busy dishing off assists and scoring points on his own. Denny Shack for three.
They need that.
No, they're only giving him two on that one. He must have stepped on the line.
Showtime. He's 6'9" now, and the way he handles a ball, he could be the first guard/center in the NBA. Of course, that's jumping ahead a few years.
Denny Shack again. Central Catholic is finding a touch here, and they've brought the lead down to 19. That was a three-pointer by Shack.
Carlisle seems to have slowed it down a little bit.
Catholic has definitely settled down here. Billy Owens with a turnaround.
But they've got to get someone to front him down there. They were playing him as a double team earlier, and I guess they decided that didn't work, so they went to a 2-1-2. They get the ball down low to him. McCoy with an air ball there.
McCoy's way off target.
But they get the ball down low to Billy Owens, and no one's going to stop him down there. They've got to get someone in front of him and behind him, and I don't know how you can do that without allowing the rest of the Carlisle team to burn you.
Gramlich will fire. No, he'll assist. Off to Owens, and the basket is good.
He's got such incredible body control.
There's just nothing they can do to stop Owens.
We're going to see it on a replay
It's not
here.
bragging or anything. It's just they can't do it. It's quite evident. Already it's quite evident.
Owens at the line for one.
We'll try to get a final point total so far on Owens. This foul shot makes it 37 points for Billy Owens. 37. Sheldon Bream comes in to the game, and Kurt Gramlich will sit down. Again, Catholic with 2 men in foul trouble. McCoy, their best offensive player, has 4. So does Burnett, their center. Both are in the game. And this is Burnett. Air ball.
And Carlisle had 3 guys around the basket for the rebound that time. Meanwhile, Central Catholic is so conscious of the Carlisle fast break that they sent all 5 back after the shot.
Two minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the third quarter. A 24-point Carlisle lead, 62-38. Here he is. And with that bucket, Billy Owens breaks the state final record for AAA Quad A games. The record being 38 points set by Stu Jackson of Reading.
McCoy just forced up a shot there. I think that Central Catholic Central Catholic is completely frustrated. The lead is now almost 30 points. And you can't blame them.
Foul on Owens. Owens is talking to Ewell in that shot. I guess he wasn't crazy with the way Ewell,
you see on the replay,
took that shot right there, and Owens went up for the rebound and fouled Burnett, who had position.
I'm not sure what they were talking about. I don't know that Billy was too happy that Todd took that shot. He was going away from the basket. It wasn't really a good high percentage shot. It looked like a layup, but it was a long distance layup.
Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Sheldon Bream tight on Jim McCoy. And Woodall suckered into going into the air. Conley draws the foul.
That was Ewell, actually, and that's not good defense. You can't leave your feet like that, especially when a team's having trouble hitting from the outside. I think it was just a little ego thing there. It would be nice to block the shot. He left his feet flying into the corner. Really no need for that kind of play at this point.
Jay Listison comes in for Steve Burnett for Central. Conley's still in there. He hasn't done much today. His shot falls short. And Coleman will bring it up. Carlisle has never had it this easy in a state final, in their last 3 state finals. They came from behind last year to beat Meadville in a low-scoring game. This game, they could reach 80 points. Of course, I'm looking very far ahead. With a minute 20 left to play, go in the third quarter, Central is just not posing much of a threat right now.
No, and they're sitting back in a zone right now, and Carlisle's really going to slow it down. There's just no need to push anything right now if they're going to sit back in a zone. It looks like they might be going for the last shot. They've come out now. They start to pressure the ball.
With a minute left in the third quarter, Central just looks tired. Denny Shack has been running around on the point, and so is Bill Bryan.
Tired, frustrated, and what hope do you have at this point? But they're not giving up.
You can tell the zone defense, the arms are down. Coaches like to have the arms up. But when you get tired, the arms get awful heavy.
At least that's what we were taught. Carlisle spreading it out now. The Central's just sitting back at this point.
25 seconds left in the third quarter now. 64-38 Carlisle. And now Central will make them play some offense. Sheldon Bream over to Coleman.
And you know where this is going to go.
Coleman looking underneath. Oh. But the alley-oop pass is picked off by Listison.
Uh-oh.
And then stolen away by Owens. 41 points for Billy Owens as the third quarter runs out.
There you see the replay. And there you see the replay going back, and another replay. The alley-oop pass was just a little bit low that time.
This is Billy Owens' last game, and rest assured, no matter how far ahead they are, he'll probably stay in the game the rest of the way. He needs 13 points to break his career high. We'll be back right after this.
WITF's exclusive coverage of this PIAA Quad A Boys Championship game has been made possible by United Telespectrum, leaders in mobile telecommunication. CM Detweiler Realtor, distinctly Detweiler, for nearly a quarter century. Earl B. Lehman Motors of Harrisburg, home of Volvo and Saab. Commonwealth National Bank, offering financial services at over 40 offices in South Central Pennsylvania. Count on Commonwealth. Highland Gardens, your garden department store. And Masland, dedicated to excellence in the automotive industry.
Carlisle has a 28-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. And probably the attention is now focused on Billy Owens, who needs 13 points to break his career high of 53.
And the starting 5 is back on the floor for Carlisle.
Lebo has no problem playing his starting 5 even up to the last 1 minute or 2, no matter how far ahead they are. And I guess it's a tribute to them to let them play and let them bask in the glory of their effort. Owens will most assuredly stay in for most of this quarter.
There was a walk out front. Ewell picked up his foot.
Substitution number 51.
But even up by 28 points, Dave Lebo does not look like he is relaxed one iota. Still looks a little tense over there. The tie keeps coming down a little further with every play.
Denny Shack.
Carlisle still playing pressure defense now. They're still back in that zone.
McCoy, nowhere to go. O'Brien pops from the foul line, and it's good. 26-point lead for Carlisle. Catholic still shooting bad from the field, 38%, 14 of 37. You've seen this before. Here's another slow-mo coming up of Billy Owens.
You know, I don't know.
Bang.
I don't know if they have a record like this, but I'm sure he's broken the record for the most slam dunks in a championship game.
Catholic misses, and Owens comes back up the court. He tries to do it all himself.
Okay, maybe he won't be the first slash guard or guard slash center.
McCoy comes in, tries for the dunk, but is partially blocked.
You remember a couple of years ago, the big controversy with Ralph Sampson was he thought he was a guard.
After 3 quarters, as I said, Catholic shooting 38%.
Here you see on the replay a good clean block. McCoy thought he had an open lane to the basket. But Lee Woodall was there and made a good clean block on the play. Actually, it wasn't Lee Woodall, it was Michael Coleman.
And a technical foul has been issued, I believe. And Billy Owens will shoot the two shots. Looking for point number 42. Yes. Carlisle shooting 82% from the line, 88% from the field, 28 of 32 through 3 quarters. We're a minute into this 4th quarter.
Well, you can look at this 2 ways. If you're Carlisle,
43 points for Owens.
If you're Carlisle, this is when basketball's fun. If you're Central Catholic, this is when you'd rather be in baseball uniform, ready to go out in the starting 9 or something. Or maybe even on the links playing a nice round of golf. I want to remind you there's more PIAA championship action for you this Friday here on public television when we bring you delayed coverage of the wrestling championships. You can see the Class AA championships at 9 in the morning with the AAA championship starting at 1 this Friday afternoon here on Channel 33.
And Steve Burnett for Central will take a seat. He is fouled out of this ball game, I believe. Although he's still on the floor right now. But he's leaving. It'll be replaced by Michael Banks. Burnett just overpowered by Billy Owens, but Billy Owens overpowered everybody on this team. He leaves.
And he shakes his hands in frustration. I mean, you can see the frustration's evident now on the Central Catholic players. What can you do? The team is shooting about 75%. It's not just Billy Owens.
Team is shooting 88%.
88%?
And Burnett leads with just 2 points.
And we said they couldn't keep up this pace in the second half.
This is Woodall. Shot won't go. Owens tries to follow with a dunk. A one-hander. And he goes baseline again, and this is the Woodall back to Owens.
Calling for a walk there, or baseline. He stepped out of bounds.
On the baseline. Kind of a patty cake little between Woodall and Owens there.
Carlisle looks like they're playing a man-to-man now with Billy Owens sagging way off because Michael Banks is not much of an offensive threat. He's out there trying to set some picks, and he's a big guy.
Listison, air ball. Rebound by Ewell. They got to be trying to feed the ball to Owens, although here's Coleman. Beautiful feed by Todd Ewell.
I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, Herb, but you know, Ewell is the career assist leader at Carlisle.
He's got 9 of them
tonight.
He's got 9. McCoy, yes. It just seems like McCoy has not been able to do that consistently.
Well, I'm afraid it's just a matter of too little too late.
5 minutes and 43 seconds left. Billy Owens is going to try to get some points here. 2 more. That's 45, I believe. Scratch that, that's 47. Billy Owens is 7 points away from his own career best. I missed a bucket in there somewhere. Please forgive me.
Well, we will forgive you, Herb. It's not hard to miss a bucket in there somewhere. You know, at this point, they're just looking to feed Billy Owens. I mean, they like to score on their own, but they realize that he's near his career point record, and it's his last game.
There it is. And with 5 minutes left, he should get it. Now he has 47. I was right. He had 45 before. Now he has 47. Here's Listison, and he's fouled by Owens.
Even hustling back to play defense. We're going to see it on the replay now.
Owens tries to block here, tries to use his height against the smaller Listerson.
Of course, he wouldn't have had to try to block it if he'd gotten back on defense in the first place.
We're not going to see it, and a timeout has been called on the floor. 4:57 left to play in this game. 76-42, a 34-point lead. Dare we start to congratulate Carlisle? Not yet. We won't do it yet. But Central Catholic was just honestly overmatched. And Jim McCoy had a bad game, which really hurt them. They needed a good game from Jim McCoy. He just didn't have a very good one. Not a bad game, but not one that was enough to offset what Carlisle could do.
Well, I think what happened was at the beginning of the game, Jim McCoy felt as though when Carlisle started to run away with this, I think that Jim McCoy felt as though it was his responsibility to keep up with Carlisle on his own. He was taking a lot of three-point shots. Maybe he could have moved in a little bit and gotten some better shots. And when he started taking those three-pointers and started missing those three-pointers, he felt like all the pressure was on him. And I think what happened was he just couldn't hit. He just wasn't hitting earlier.
And a fight has broken out along a media row here about how many points Billy Owens has. The latest figure now, 49. This is the official one, I'm told. Billy Owens has 49 points. His career high is 53 versus Cumberland Valley. So Billy Owens needs 5 points. And he's got 5 minutes to do it, 4:57 to be exact. But first, Listerson will have 2 shots.
Well, I think the only question is how those points are going to come.
Maybe the crowd was hoping for a little more of an emotional finish here. They're going to have to work themselves back up to a fever pitch. Listerson makes the second of 2 foul shots.
Number 53, Joe Conley, back into the lineup for the Vikings, replacing number 33, Jay Listerson.
And a 33-point lead for Carlisle as they work the ball quickly up, and they're not giving up anything. And Bream's in the middle. And they'll call for the offensive charge. Nice play by Bream, but also good hustle by Central Catholic. I'm not sure who the defender was, but he got there in time. I think it's Conley. Or is that? No, the defensive player is number 45. He's a new one in the game. Craig Stepien, a junior. We haven't been talking about the class, the grades of most of these players, but most of them are veterans. Most of them are seniors on the floor right now.
And you see Carlisle playing a good, tough man-to-man defense.
O'Brien draws the foul on the way into the bucket.
He's still out there scrambling. I think they're going to take it as a personal affront if Central Catholic scores more than 50 points.
Here's the guard O'Brien still hustling, and he finds some space on the baseline. Gramlich comes over and fouls him, trying to block it. Not a great foul. Maybe you should let O'Brien shoot. But O'Brien will try to cut the lead to 31. McCoy is the leading scorer for Central Catholic with 17 points. He's still in the ball game, as are most of the starters for both teams. I think it's a new game now. The game is to see, it's not no longer who wins, but to see if Billy Owens gets his 454. 4:17 left to play.
I don't think Billy's looking to score from the outside.
There's a foul underneath. No, it's traveling.
Ball goes out of bounds, Vikings.
Well, it's getting a little sloppy right now, but with the 31-point difference, you can't expect a whole lot right now.
Carlisle with 12 turnovers in this ball game. Jim McCoy hits
Jim McCoy
for 2 points, not a 3-pointer, but a 2-pointer.
Seems to have moved in a little bit, shortened up his range instead of forcing those 3-pointers.
Woodall will draw the charge. Woodall will be charged with charging.
I believe that was Ewell.
That's Ewell. I keep mixing them up. 31 is
the
Ewell,
replay here.
43 Woodall.
Ewell gets a little out of control on the inside. Number 45, Stepien, gets good position. You call the charge.
And now a sub will come in for Central Catholic. Number 23, Kevin Fitzgerald. He's a senior. Coach Crummey's probably trying to get a senior some time. This is their last game. Not a great way to go out, but when you face a team like Carlisle, you can't be ashamed if they blow you out. Carlisle is just a great team this year.
Well, what happened at the beginning of the second half, Carlisle, or I should say Central Catholic, came out smoking. They hit 9 straight points, three three-pointers. But Carlisle quickly regained their composure.
Conley from way out.
And it's been no contest since then.
And Owens gets the board. You get a kind of feeling that he wants to collect the rebound because he wants to go down the other end and score.
Well, that's the way it's been the whole game. Carlisle's given him one shot. And if you're not hitting on that first shot, it's awfully tough. Looked like a walk down there.
Foul before the shot. Oh, no.
It looked like a walk. They didn't call it.
No bucket. There's a push underneath.
No basket.
You take a look at this again on the replay.
Loses the handle on the ball, but
well, he didn't have possession.
45.
He didn't have possession, so.
And Stepien comes up with the foul. He's a junior, Stepien. At least you can say you fouled Billy Owens, huh?
Something to tell your grandchildren about.
Billy Owens will shoot 2. If he makes them both, he'll have 51 points.
That touch is so soft. A nice follow through, backspin on the ball.
It's been a very quick game.
Yeah, we're about an hour and 10 minutes into the game. 3 minutes left.
Owens makes them both.
That ties his career high.
No, he's 2 away from his career high.
I was going to start another controversy.
We know for sure he's got 51 points.
7, 8, 83 total paid attendance.
Paid attendance being announced tonight. 78-83 here at the arena.
Which is a smaller crowd than they had on Thursday night, I believe. They had 8,100 on Thursday night.
Personal foul called on number 11, Mike Coleman.
Mike Coleman picks up the foul.
Substitution for the
and he'll come out of the ball game.
See this again on the replay. This time the guy from Central Catholic had position underneath. The 45 had position underneath, and Michael Coleman came over the back.
Stepien, 43, Chris Stepien, now at the lineup for the Vikings.
Stepien will shoot 2. Or 1 and 1, I'm sorry. And Billy Owens with the rebound. Owens gives it up to Gramlich. And back out to Matt Smith. Owens is going to shoot from here. The ball goes out of bounds, but Carlisle retains possession.
Oh no, they gave it to Central Catholic.
Okay, they
it's a
changed
strange
their mind.
call.
Take it from me, they pointed at Carlisle first. Number 21 in the ball game now for Catholic. Craig White, he's a junior. The only starter still in the ball game for Central Catholic is McCoy. McCoy, I believe, still with 17 points.
Trying to get his other players a little bit of experience. And
here's a steal from Matt Smith. He doesn't make the layup, though.
Pulled up a little short there.
And we got 2:13 left to play in the ball game. 78-47, 31-point lead for Carlisle.
And you see Billy Owens breaking for the other end as soon as the ball gets on the floor.
Kevin Fitzgerald pops for 2.
Kevin Fitzgerald.
And they're going to let Billy Owens have it again, and Stepien commits the foul.
And he'll go to the line to shoot 1-on-1. Could get it from the foul line. This could tie his record if he makes it.
Number 41, Brian Roberts, reports into the lineup, replacing Jim McCoy.
Jim McCoy is coming out of the ball game. Jim McCoy has seen his last action as a Central Catholic Viking. But he's a fine player, been recruited by schools, Duquesne, Notre Dame, I believe you say?
Notre Dame and the Richmond Spiders, which may have a shot now that they made it to the NCAAs this year and did so well.
And into the game now, as Billy Owens makes his first shot, by the way. He's now got 52 points. McCoy finishes with 19. We'll try to get the names to you here. Craig White is in for Catholic. These are some small guys here. Kerry White, Craig and Kerry, they're identical twin brothers. Both in the game for Central Catholic right now. Also Chris Bennick. And number 42, we don't know who number 42 is yet. It's supposed to be Steve Burnett. Billy Owens Owens has now tied his career high. He's got 53 points, and I believe he's being taken out of the ballgame.
Well, if you've got to leave after 4 straight state championships, I don't think I can think of a better way to leave than tying your career high.
Now, this is kind of hard to believe. I can't believe, maybe Lebo doesn't know it, but I can't believe he'd take Billy Owens out now when he has a chance to attain his career high in points. A mass substitution by Carlisle. In for them is Mitch Ortiz, a senior. Matt Smith is still in the game. Mark Eager is a senior. Sheldon Bream has come in. Lee Woodall is also in the game. So one starter among all the Carlisle players. And we may be wrong, but we say that Billy Owens has 53 points, and that matches his career high. But he's out of the ball game. Sheldon Bream is out as well. And now everybody on the floor is a sub for Carlisle. A minute 20 left as Craig White fires and misses. A walk. Mark Eager called for steps. Well, it's a bet Dave Lebo will be the toughest interview to try to catch after the game, but I'm sending Brian out now. Godspeed.
Substitution number 34, Rich Cronin. 3 points into the Thundering.
Another substitution for Carlisle. In is 22, John Mazias, a senior. As Kerry White drives and is fouled. Jim Mumford is in the game for Carlisle. He picked up that foul. We've got Jim Mumford, Mitch Ortiz, and Chad Petty as White makes his first foul shot. And also for Carlisle, Rich Cronin and John Mazias. All subs now in the game. All the starters are out. 48 seconds left to play. Central Catholic will get the ball in a turnover. 80-51. A 29-point difference for Carlisle as they run out the clock on the way to their 4th state Quad A title. It would have been nice if it was a little more exciting, but Carlisle will take it. Mitch Ortiz passes to Chad Petty, but Petty loses the ball.
Substitution number 30, Mark Eager returns to the lineup for the Thundering Herd.
There's really no glum faces on the Central Catholic sideline. I mean, I think they kind of realized that this was a team that just couldn't be beat today. They're just too much. But Central Catholic completing a fine season. They'll be 29-3 when this is over. Kerry White hits for 3 points. 80-54 now. 5 seconds left to play. We'll run the clock out. 3, 2, 1. Bucket is no good. And you've just witnessed Pennsylvania sports history. The media converge on Carlisle, winners of the Quad A state title for the 4th straight time. And Brian Clark has snagged Dave Lebo. That interview is coming up momentarily. We'll try to stay with you through all the award ceremonies and then cutting down to the net. District 3 has its first state champion of this year, its only state champion of this year. It's also a record-breaking state champion. No one will forget this team. They're just about all seniors. They're going to graduate. But it's a record that will probably is as close to being written in stone as you can get. 4 straight state titles is an unbelievable record. The Central Catholic team comes over to congratulate Carlisle. Brian Clark is coming up now. He's got Dave Lebo. Let's go over to Brian Clark interviewing Dave Lebo.
Okay, Coach, I want to ask you, does the fourth one feel any different than the first one did?
Well, you know, the first one will always be special, but, these kids made history tonight, and just really pleased. I think they saved their best game for the last game of the year, and we beat a very, very fine basketball team, and Billy Owens, boy, he was something. He was terrific. He showed the people a true All-American tonight.
Let me ask you one more question. I want to ask you about next year. Are you going to be coaching Carlisle next year?
Let me enjoy this one. You're going to be broadcasting next year. Let me enjoy this victory right now.
Well, Dave Lebo, there have been some rumors that he may not be coaching next year. That he might take a little break. Maybe to see his son, Jeff. No, I wanted to say John. Jeff played down in North Carolina in his senior year. But Dave's not saying anything about it. Brian's on his way back, properly scoring. And Carlisle was in the center of the court enjoying their victory. Well, I guess you had to ask the question. We've got some final stats to tell you about. Central Catholic shot 37% from the field, 19 for 51 effort. Jim McCoy, the leading scorer, with 19 points. From the line, they were 9 for 13. They really didn't get fouled too much. They didn't need to. 69% from the line, 11 rebounds, and 5 turnovers. Total domination by Carlisle. Carlisle's shot production fell off at the end. In the first half, they were 22 of 24. They finished with a 32 of 41 performance, 78% from the field. That's incredible. Billy Owens with 53 points to match his career high. We'll get the point totals of the other players in a couple of minutes. And you see the t-shirts have broken out already. Some enterprising young man has printed Carlisle Championship t-shirts. I'm sure they'll be selling like hotcakes. Coming back to the stats, they're rebounding, 33 rebounds. They totally dominated the boards. Billy Owens, I believe, had 8 or 9. Turnovers, 16. They also led the game in that department. And Brian, you're back with me now. It wasn't hard to get a hold of Dave Lebo, but it wasn't very easy to keep him once you had him.
Well, it wasn't very easy to keep him. Obviously, I'm sure he's expecting to be asked that question a lot. He avoided the media this week because he didn't want to have to face that question. There's been some speculation that he might take a sabbatical next year because his son Jeff is playing his last year at North Carolina. You hate to ask a guy a question in a situation like this, but it might be the only chance you get to talk to him about it. And you heard his answer. He's not giving out any information right now. So right now, at this point, whether he's going to be at Carlisle next year or not is going to remain speculation.
We'll be staying through the awards ceremony, and you see right now the Central Catholic Vikings receiving their runner-up medals. That was Michael Banks, number 55, getting one, and then Burnett, Kevin Fitzgerald, Jay Listeson, and they'll go down the line. Craig Stepien.
Central Catholic has absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. They came in here, they earned their way to this game. They played a great season. They were 29-2. They were seeded again. They were seeded number 1 in their district playoffs. They did lose to Fox Chapel, but they came back and ended up as a 4th seed in the States. And last Wednesday, they beat Erie Cathedral Prep to get to this game. They've played a long, hard season. It was 29-2. You can't say anything bad about that record. They just came up against someone tonight and a team that was unbelievable. Any team that shoots 88% from the field, I'm sure it didn't end up that, but it was close to 75 or 80% once the game got ragged towards the end. But any team that the starters shoot 88%, it's impossible to beat them. And Billy Owens was a man among boys tonight. I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
A small consolation, but Carlisle's made mincemeat of a lot of teams along the way in the district and state playoffs, and you're right, they have nothing to be ashamed of, as Jim McCoy holds aloft the runner-up trophy. He had 19 points and led the Vikings.
Well, he's going to get a chance to play against Billy Owens again when they get to the Round Ball Classic out in Pittsburgh. And like you said before, he's being recruited by Notre Dame and Richmond and Duquesne, and I'm sure some other schools are going to show some interest in him. He's got a future in basketball, no doubt about that.
And now the attention switches to the Carlisle Thundering Herd. They're still jubilant. I guess they kind of had to work up to that point, because for so much of the game in the second half, the attention or the excitement kind of dwindled when the outcome was already determined.
You know, it's kind of fun to watch Dave Lebo. I mean, he's been here 4 times. He didn't show a lot of emotion, but boy, when he stepped off that bench, it was like a giant relief. I'm sure there was a lot of pressure on him because there was a lot of talk this week about there being 4 consecutive championships, and that being a record. You know, like we mentioned earlier tonight, the West Reading had the record back in 59 through 61. They had won 3 consecutive championships, and Carlisle tied that, and now they beat it.
Dave Lebo is putting the medals around his players, and you know there'll be a nice little moment when he reaches Billy Owens, and actually all of the starters. They've done a great job this year. Kurt Gramlich getting the medal next to Sheldon Bream. And the crowd will just get louder. Todd Ewell, then Lee Woodall. We'll be staying with you through the award ceremony and through the cutting of the net. We'll maybe try to get another interview or two.
Stu Jackson's record set back in 1970. This award goes to Billy Owens.
And now the presentation of the championship trophy will be made by the PIAA Executive Director, Dr. Russell Werner. And I'm sure it'll go right into Billy Owens' hands. He's the tallest guy out there, and he's going to hold it real high. And there it is. As I said before, if you had to pick a record that seems to be unbreakable, certainly 4 straight state titles would be at the top of your list. Carlisle, going into this game, was tied with West Reading with 3 straight state titles. West Reading won it in the 50s. And now we're going to start cutting down the net. We've gone through 3 nets. This is the only one that belongs to a District 3 team. The first 2 teams we've seen today have both lost. The Eastern boys with a good effort, but they lose to Girard, with John Robb scoring 26 points for the losers. But really, the Eastern boys were not losers. They had a great season. Sheldon Breen getting his cut in there. And I believe Brian is out trying to find Billy Owens now, and I see Mr. Owens, Billy's father, looking very proud. Kurt Gramlich ascends the ladder to make his cut. The final stats on Billy Owens: 19 for 22 from the field, 14 of 16 from the foul line, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 53 points. And although he didn't match his career high, he did break the state AAA, quadruple A final record set by a Reading player, Stu Jackson. The record was 38 points. Billy far exceeded that. Lee Woodall now with the scissors. And Brian is now with Billy Owens. Let's go to Brian.
How do you feel about the game you played tonight? It was obviously a great game.
Well, I told the fans that I was going to come out here and work hard tonight because this is my last game, and I just can't believe that it went so quick. So I just came out here and worked hard for the victory.
Did you feel any pressure that you put on yourself after you said that?
No, I didn't put pressure on myself. I always do that, put pressure on myself so I can get motivated to play. So, you know, I'm just happy that we won.
Where do you go from here? What are you going to be doing this summer?
Well, the summertime, I'm going to work on the weights. I'm going to go up Syracuse and work up there. So I'm going to work on the weights with my brother and get ready for the Syracuse next year.
All right, congratulations,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, Brian talking with Billy Owens. And you hear Billy Owens say he didn't put any pressure on himself despite saying it was going to be his greatest game ever. He likes to put pressure on himself. And he responded with 53 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. I don't know if we have the scoring for the other teams. Here we go. Quickly, I'll run them down. 53 for Billy out of 80. Certainly a majority of Carlisle's offense. 11 from Kirk Bramlich, 6 from Lee Woodall, 6 from Todd Ewell, and 4 from Michael Coleman. For the Central Catholic Vikings, team total of 54 points, 19 from their top scorer, best offensive player, Jim McCoy, 8 from Joe Conley, and 8 from Denny Shack. Bill O'Brien had 5, as did Jay Listison, and my voice is going. Kerry White had 5, Fitzgerald with 2, and Burnett, who fouled out of the game, with 2 points.
You could say it's been a full day of basketball here in South Central Pennsylvania at Hershey Park Arena. We did have 3 teams from Division III in the championships. Unfortunately, Eastern York didn't fare so well, and neither did Lancaster Catholic. But Carlisle, I think, kind of made up for it.
Yes, more than enough, I guess you would say, even though Eastern and Lancaster Catholic would like to have that net themselves. And here comes the net down. Michael Coleman is the last one to handle it. And the excitement is kind of dwindling again. Seats are emptying. I don't know how long I'll be here.
You could say the excitement's dwindling.
I think I'll be up till 4 in the morning tonight.
I think the excitement dwindled after the first quarter. It was just a matter of how bad it was going to get.
There are a lot of people we should thank for this broadcast. They worked awfully hard to help bring you this, and I know I'm going to miss a few names. You'll see some credits at the end. Heath Miller and Flip Cousins directing tonight. I want to especially thank our stat man, who was excellent for us, John Bricker. Did a fine job of providing us with the stats.
He certainly did. He saved us a number of times when we didn't have anything to say. John came through and gave us something to say. We really appreciate that, John.
On camera, Chris Conrad, Doug Evans. We have a lot of people. Craig Reinecker working the character generator for the oh gosh, so many I can't even think. But you'll see the credits later.
Let the credits take care of it. Let the credits roll, as they say.
Let's quickly go over the scores just from the PIAA games that we've had over the last 2 days. Now, yesterday, Friday, we decided 4 champions. The boys A champion was Monessen. They beat Bristol 62-60. The girls AA champion, Catasauqua over Bishop McCourt 58-42. The girls Quad A champion, Altoona over Wissahickon 39-36. Boys AAA champion, Seton LaSalle beating Milton 77-72. This afternoon, the girls A championship went to Mahanoy City over Ferndale 74-53. The boys AA game, again, Girard over Eastern 81-62. And the girls AAA game, North Catholic out of Pittsburgh beat Lancaster Catholic 59-52. And of course, the final you've just seen right now, Carlisle winning its 4th straight state title.
80-54.
Final 80-54. Billy Owens scoring 53. You've heard us say it many times. It's been quite a day. We've had 3 games, 3 good ones, 1 District 3 team winning. And now they're posing for a final team photo. That'll go in the trophy case along with the 4 gold basketballs that represent 4 straight state titles. The day is winding down.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's a big accomplishment, a major accomplishment for a school to win 1 state title. But to win state titles in 4 consecutive years is a tribute not only to the great players at that school, but to the way the program's run. And you got to hand it to Carlisle. They've done a great job.
Congratulations to Central Catholic on a fine season. Congratulations to Carlisle for their record-breaking effort. We're going to wrap it up right now. It's been quite a day at Hershey Park Arena. I want to thank my color man, Brian Clark. I'm Herb Logan. We're live at Hershey Park Arena. You've been watching championship basketball exclusively on WITF TV. and we all wish you a good night.
WITF's exclusive coverage of this PIAA Quad A Boys Championship game has been made possible by United Telespectrum.
Today, Kansas and Arizona booked their trips with wins. Now, Arizona defeated North Carolina in the West Regional Final, and the star was Arizona's Don Tolbert. Watch that move. He's not supposed to be making moves like this. 18 of his 21 points came in the second half, and here Tolbert's going to leave J.R. Reed in the dust. And as I said, Tolbert was unreal today. Arizona pulled away to win it down the stretch. The final was 70-52. Kansas defeated Kansas State in the Midwest Regional Final. Danny Manning had 10 points in the first half, 10 in the second half, for a total of 20 on the day. Coming up here off the missed shot, everything was bouncing the Jayhawks' way today. They put it back up and in for the bucket. And former NBAer Rick Barry's son, Scooter, had a career high of 15 as Kansas pulled away to win it by a final of 71-58. The Hershey Bears continue to have their problems on the road, and things will get worse before they get any better. The Bears lost up at Newmarket this afternoon 4-1. They have now lost their last 4 road games, and they have 2 more games on the road before returning home Saturday and Sunday to close out the regular season. Other AHL action, it was Rochester knocking off Adirondack 5-4. Nova Scotia beat Springfield, Sherbrooke over Baltimore, and it was Utica over New Haven. To the NHL, just 4 games on tap. Pittsburgh doubled up Quebec. It was New Jersey over the Rangers. Hartford beat Montreal, and Detroit over Buffalo. Donnie Kreitz won the Early Bird Sprint Car Championship at Williams Grove Speedway today. Steve Stambaugh was second in the 30-lap event. Big pile-up today at the Trans-South 500 at Darlington. Seemed like everyone was involved, but no serious injuries. The winner today, Lake Speed, his first ever NASCAR win. He had gone 164 races without tasting victory. Speed averaged 131 miles an hour. The hometown favorite won the big golf tournament this weekend. It's called the Players Championship, and it is considered to be golf's 5th major tournament. The local favorite was Mark McCumber. He sinks a birdie here on 12 to go to 16 under par. McCumber took a 5-shot lead to the 18th green, but he's going to miss this putt for par, but it really doesn't matter. He finished at 15 under par. That's a new tournament record. Mike Reed was second, 4 shots back. Oak Hee Koo picked up her first career LPGA victory today, hanging on to win the Turquoise Classic in Phoenix. She parred the final hole and hung on to defeat Dottie Mockery and Ayako Okamoto by 1 shot. Remember all the excitement generated by the America's Cup races? Well, they will be racing again this year in San Diego, and the folks from down under put their boat into the water today. And the poor lady had trouble with the christening. Once, twice, finally, the 3rd time broke the champagne bottle. Now, this is the largest boat to race for the Cup in 50 years. It's over 90 feet long and takes a crew of 40 just to sail it. The U.S. boat has not yet been unveiled. Penn National today. This is the finish of the 5th race. Closing fast down the middle is number 8, Fly Jedi Fly. He paid $13 to win. 2 twin triple winners today. Penn National each took home over $45,000. And 1988 will go into the history books as a special year in high school basketball. Carlisle accomplished something that had never been done before. The Thundering Herd won a 4th consecutive state championship. Coach Dave Lebo, All-American Billy Owens, and the rest of the team capped off a perfect 33-0 season last night. And tonight, we continue our tradition of honoring our state champions with a special tribute. This is Carlisle State Championship number 4. They made it look so easy. Photographer Brad